how's it going, all you beautiful people out there? Welcome to another episode of What's on Our Screen podcast. I'm Elio Ramos, and I'm accompanied by my cousin Javier Rivera. Say something nice.
I forgot to unmute the mic. Sorry. Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Say something nice, primo. Say it now.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
All right. So we this is going to be our third live show. The first one was our first episode. The second one was our 10th episode, and now our 14th episode. Because it just feels right. It just feels right to do it live tonight. Where we got some people in the chat. Naomi, what's up? How's it going? How you feeling? How you doing? Late for shame. Well, technically, it was the stream started and all that stuff. So I was technically on time, but you're gonna be a stickler, and I appreciate you for that. That's good. Elena, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Feel the love. Thank you. How you forgot to unmute? he's the one in the chat about terror. Yeah, I don't know. It just my primo still continues. So for all of
two
you
personas that I have.
it's two separate personas. It's a Moon Knight trait. I think everybody's getting a double persona here because of Moon Knight. But for those of you who are new to the podcast, so What's on Our Screen podcast is a podcast about things that we watch on our screen the previous week. So that's anything from movies, TV shows, animes, even video games. We tend to talk about video games. Elden Ring has been a topic lately, but tonight I'm going to talk about some that is us. So anybody on the chat, are you guys caught up with Moon Knight and Halo? Just out of curiosity, because I'm about to talk about
Tokyo Vice.
And Tokyo Vice. Yeah, Tokyo Vice is a brand new show that just came out on HBO Max, and it is a beautiful show. If you're a big fan and lover of all things Japanese, then this is the show for you. But we'll jump onto that later. But it's because I'm about to spoil some things. I'm about to drop some heavy knowledge. More like
on what? Knowledge or criticism? There's two different things.
All right. Mostly criticism, because
okay, it's not knowledge then.
Well, people need to know how bad this show is, so that way they don't watch it. Because otherwise, if they watch it, then I haven't done my job properly. You know, I'm sacrificing my eyes and my mental capacity for y'all.
So who asked you? Who asked you?
I'm doing a service to humanity. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a service to humanity. Yes, doing everybody a favor.
Okay. Yeah, your ego has grown up.
No, it's what I've always done this. It's just I didn't have the platform to tell other people. Anybody who was in earshot, I'd be like, listen, you shouldn't watch this show. Like, listen, homie, you shouldn't watch this show. Whenever I was like on set, I'd be like, have you guys seen this show? Good, don't watch it because it is caca. I would do that face to face. Now I have a platform and I could tell the world to not watch the show. I'm helping people. I'm changing lives here, man. I'm saving them.
That explains a lot.
Lena says, Halo, I am, but the others I don't watch. Oh, okay. So you're caught up with Halo. All right. Well, you're about to.
Well, first, let's start with Halo. Does Elena like the show up to now? Before you start blasting the show with a shotgun.
All right, that's a good point. Way to be civil. Way to be.
Yeah. Well, no,
you're curious. You're considerate.
No, I'm just curious because I know what you think about the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what she knows. She likes it or not.
That's a really good question. So if any of y'all seen this show and actually like the show, we would love to hear it. We would love to hear from you if you like the show.
Why do you say actually like it's a bad thing?
Well, I'm just curious because I haven't seen I know
if she likes it, then you're not gonna like her.
Is okay. No, I would never. I would never.
List?
I think
everyone. I'm not gonna.
No, dead to me. You're dead. How dare you?
Okay, she's not loving it, so okay, she's
not really loving. See,
okay,
and it's okay for you to have like a different opinion. You know, it's totally fine. Like that's why God made all the colors for different people, right? You know, like
but in Raboon's world, you go put into another list.
That's not entirely true. It's I mean, it's a pleasant list. You got a lot of friends there. It's just you just put it on there for life. No, no, it's totally fine. Everybody can have their own opinion. I'm totally okay with it. It's just
Yeah, no,
I
I'm just exaggerating.
I
But
have
there's
I just have a strong opinion of the show, and I bring receipts as well, like story structure and stuff like that, and storytelling and all that stuff. I ranted a little bit last night on the stream when we're playing Elden Ring, but I'm about to dive deep into this. Okay, I mean I won't go into it too long, but I'll let y'all. I won't.
if you want to hear his very long tirade of just horrible things he said about the show, last week's episode, not last week, but the last episode, he
Yeah,
just we cut him loose for like he was there like 50 minutes just talking bad about the show.
I really was. I needed that. I needed that moment. Um, Naomi is like, "Are you discriminating there, Raboom?" No, never, never. Maybe no. Um, so Halo. So 2 episodes. So last week we didn't do the podcast. I was on hiatus. Um, it was my mother's birthday, so we were celebrating her birthday. It was like a whole week event, and so we went on hiatus for that because it's my mama, and I love my mama, and we gotta hang out and spend time with her. My brother came down. It was fantastic, but I caught up with that episode. So not this week's episode, but the previous week's episode, we finally get a chance to see Cortana. Um, I actually liked how they embedded Cortana into Master Chief's head dome piece, the big thickness of his head. I really like how they did that, and I think in the video game, she's integrated into the suit, so it's like through a HUD, and that's how he's able to communicate with her, and it's like this um, relationship that they have. But they they want so badly for Master Chief to just be like a human because they can't write a robot. You know, they just don't know how to write for somebody that's been established for 20 plus years. So they have to like force him to become human so quickly. And they try to like jam pack 20 plus years of relationship that's been established in the video game into like an episode where Cortana is supposed to have these human interactions with him and stuff like that. And they actually try to bring some humor into it with like Master Chief kind of blowing her off, you know, trying to tell her to go, or Cortana appearing without his consent, you know, to talk to his friends, or his colleagues, I should say. And it's just it's so unnatural and it's so cringe because we all know how the story really goes in the video games, and the fact that they decided not to even, you know, partake in any of that stuff, or go in that any of those directions, it's just really hurtful, especially to the fans and stuff like that. But fast forward to this week's episode. um I feel like they had an opportunity. I feel like everything that I'm watching this season should be like season 4, where we have like a Master Chief that's seasoned, that he's fought the Covenant, and he's, you know, we found the Halo, but the Halo can't be activated without another key, and like everybody's hunting for the key, and come to find out, season 4, wait, Master Chief, his past, he actually touched this key, and he is now the official key to the Halo, and he didn't know. But this is like a season 4 kind of plot line, but they're trying to force this into the first season, and trying to justify Master Chief and why and how he is so awesome, as opposed to just letting it be a slow burn and letting him just kind of grow and develop, and us to just like have emotions with him and stuff like that and grow with him. But they're just like, no, no, we're gonna force him to be human. And and I don't know what it is about this freaking helmet that Master Chief has to constantly like take it off, walk around with the helmet, put it on, take 2 steps, take it back off. It's just the most annoying thing. It's like, leave it on. Give the fans this, you know, like let us see Master Chief. I don't want to see this dude's face. I can't stand the fact that he's like not trimmed, properly trimmed and stuff like that. Like he should be properly trimmed all the time because he's a soldier. But he's like, nah, man, I'm an individual and I like to have my beard out and stuff. And it's it's really annoying. And I think they just completely missed the mark with this show. And and I just can't stand the fact that they're still doubling down on mankind being the villain of the show. Like you have a whole alien race that's trying to destroy mankind, and yet mankind is bad. They are the villains of the show, and I can't get around that. It's just it's really bad. Like I there hasn't been a moment where I'm like, wow, this show it's gonna there's gonna be like a turning point, like it's gonna get good. It's just been a downhill spiral, and I don't think it's I don't even know if season two is gonna even with the new showrunners and stuff like that. I don't know what they can do to salvage this except for doing like maybe like a time travel kind of thing when they go into the past, you know, and or like they completely erase everything that happened of the season like it didn't exist or something like that. Like I just don't know. I don't know. It's been such a painful journey, and I just I don't know why they would do such a thing, but yeah, yeah. But that's my two question. Kind of off topic though. No, go ahead, Naomi. You're this is what live podcast is all about. Pivoting, adjusting, rolling, tumbling.
Thank you, Naomi. He would have gone another hour talking about Halo.
I was being. I see. I consolidated the whole thought. I consolidated it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I trimmed it
I
down.
would sleep and just woke up again. He's still talking about it.
Man,
Why are you suffering through this show
because
anyway?
I need to, because I paid for it, and I need to suffer through it. It's like my sin. Because I really like the show.
But
Like the trailer, I thought it was gonna be great. I thought it was gonna be fantastic. But then I'm watching it, and I'm like, nobody needs to watch this. Nobody. Like the show's that bad. It's nobody needs to
but
watch this show.
I've heard some podcasts and with Halo experts, and they say that the relationship between the whatever the Space Marines or whatever and the humankind is pretty on point. They're in points that they attacked each other, and some parts of whatever planets they are, and they don't they don't get along. So
I get that fine, and they're basing things off of the book. But let me before I digress, let me see. Naomi says so. So as far as the game goes into show goes, it common or is Halo the first? Is Halo the first? Wait, huh? Also, how do y'all feel about with the game into a show? Okay, so I'm gonna try to dissect
it
what.
have is there other shows that other video game that have turned into shows and then it's common issue or something like that?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you, Javi, for translating that because
Okay.
I'm not.
I speak Naomi there. I
Yeah, you
understand her
do.
language.
You totally speak Naomi. I was just like, I was gonna get there, Naomi. I promise. Yeah. So it's not. It's really difficult to translate something from a video game to the live screen adaptation. There's a lot of people that want to take liberties with it. And unfortunately, they just don't succeed. You have movies that have had trouble with that. Um, some of the Tomb Raider movies weren't all that great. Let's see. Silent Hill was actually a surprise. It was a pretty good movie. Assassin's Creed I actually enjoyed, but it was considered a flop. Like people didn't really like it that much, which I disagree. I think it was really good. What other one came out? Sonic was good. Um,
Is it?
the first one was good. I haven't seen the second one. I thought it was a
Is
success.
it?
Uh,
Is it?
apparently
Is
you
it real?
apparently you think differently. But TV shows, as far as TV
I haven't
shows
seen it,
go, I think The Witcher is good. I think that's a good translation.
but that's
Um,
based on the novels, not the
yeah,
show, not the
that is
games.
true. That is a very good point. So no, you got me on that one. So yeah, translating video games into shows,
Well,
it's
there've been animated shows like Mario, Sonic, some other properties. But I think video games are different because are difficult because the actions you're doing the actions, so it's a like a interactive medium. So
yeah.
how you translate that into a movie? I think I heard a interview by Guillermo del Toro, and he talks about that because he had a couple projects of video game adapting and stuff like that, and they all fall through. But he has a very good, like a very interesting perspective about it.
Mm. Yeah, I just
I'll try to find it and post it in the Discord or something.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I have Discord
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So the Discord is coming out. We're working out on a couple kinks, some last minute things, but once it comes
Raider,
out,
Tomb Raider, yeah. Uncharted is another one.
oh yeah, I haven't seen Uncharted, but see that those are translations into they're translating the video game into a movie, and I think there's challenges with that, but I do think that there's some simplicity to it as well because you can consolidate and condense that story pretty well and just kind of trim a lot of fat and streamline it.
Warcraft. Warcraft was another one.
Ooh, Warcraft was tough.
And that one had a huge lore.
Yeah. That was rough. That looked like a B movie. Here, let me jump back. Let me see what also you else feel okay. Yes, games into shows. Is it common? Okay. Um the worst no, it's okay. You're amongst family here. Everyone's punctuation is all off.
yeah.
If they're about Sonic and
Although
Tomb
it,
Raider, yeah.
although Raboon did a grammar police, he placed me a couple of minutes, half hour ago.
I'm not a stickler for grammar, not whatsoever. I've struggled with English as my second language and just writing in general. Just it's been a journey, but yet I
Yeah,
strive to
and
for
that.
excellence. Um, but yeah, it's like when I first saw the trailer of Halo, I thought it was going to be a success. Like I was giving the show the complete benefit of the doubt because it looked visually good. I thought the actor was taking on the role well. I appreciated that they were bringing in the original actress and voice of Cortana to play to reprise her role. I just thought they were doing things right. But it was like a rug pull. And after the first episode, after like the first, I don't know, 15 maybe 20 minutes of the first episode, that was it. Like that was the only time we got to see Master Chief like how we watched him in the game. That was it. And the thing is that I would understand that if the books came out before the video game, they're they're justified to make that decision to follow the books. But the game came out before the books, so I see no reason why they would go and marry themselves to the book and try to go into the direction of the book because why? It's literature. It's no. The game's established as a video game. You go for that. Everything else on the side is just bonus. You could reference some things, and people who've read the book would appreciate it. It's like, oh, dang, that was in the book. Thank you so much. That's awesome that they referenced that or they brought that in from the books. But no,
Uh,
we're gonna do the whole book.
question.
It's like that's
Question.
that's nonsense.
I only played a couple of the Halo games. I'm not a big fan of it or the story or anything. Um, from what I've played, there's not much of a story there.
I think there
I mean,
is, and I think at the end of the day, it's the writer's job to like implement things and add things in there to like connect the dots. If you have this point and this point, it's you just fill this in right here and make it, but still stay true to the main storyline. But I think there's definitely enough content in there to to stay true to the video game and also push the franchise forward. I just think they lack that ability. I don't think they had the chops for it, and it's evident because they decided to go in a completely different route. And as you can see, Master Chief can't keep his helmet on to save his life, even when he's in a very dangerous place. He's walking around with a helmet in one arm and a suitcase in the other, and he's like, "Yeah, someone's just gonna shoot you in the head, Master Chief. Great job, great tactical, common
but
sense."
is the helmet bulletproof?
Yeah, his whole thing is bulletproof, man.
But
Somebody,
didn't one of them died in the Halo Reach? With a sniper shot him in the head?
yeah, in the game. You talking about in the game?
Yeah. Yeah, in the game.
Yeah, some they die. I mean, they die.
Okay.
So I'm just,
You mad? I mean, come on, he's a human, so probably it's hot in that helmet.
I
I
don't,
mean,
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Like the
I
actor is like, I'm having,
at least he has a helmet. It's not like half a visor and just call it Halo. At least he had the helmet.
it's like has a baseball cap
Eh,
on or something like that.
yeah. I
Eh,
mean, but the helmet looks cheap when he takes it off. It looks plastic.
yeah, it really does. And it serves at this point. It serves no purpose. Just have him without the helmet. Just because he'll put it on to drive and then take it right off as soon as he gets out of the vehicle. It's like that makes why, man. I saw that scene.
It just for 5 seconds. It's just he puts it on. There's a 2 second him driving the Jeep
Yeah,
or whatever, the Warhawk, and then the other one is him taking the helmet.
yeah.
They clearly they didn't have much of a story. They just
No, they just had no idea what they were doing, and I don't think a season two is going to make the show any better. I think they completely ruined just the whole.
it could happen. It could happen. I mean, other shows have terrible first seasons and been great later on. I
So
mean,
you thinking that they'll turn it around?
well, I mean, it's just writers. You need a good idea of what you're gonna do, and that's it.
Oh, Elena has the games don't vibe with the books, though. Not in depth. So are you saying that the books have more depth, more meat to it compared to the games, where the games are a little bit more on the surface, and the books are more in depth, kind of like it's like I don't know if anybody's seen Dragon Prince. The first book came out and it talks about season. I think the first two books came out, but it talks about like season one and season two in those first two books. But it's the exact same story from season one and two, but it's
That's
more in
like Star
depth.
Wars. Star Wars is the same thing. The movies
Mm.
come out and books are more sometimes are better than the movies.
Oh, Elena's saying that yes, that the books are better. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I for one have
I
never read the
saw a
books.
couple I saw a couple of lore videos
Mm-hmm.
based on the books and stuff, and the books appear to be very meaty and talk and touch those themes that you're criticizing about humans versus the whatever what's the name of the Space
Uh,
Marines?
uh, the Spartans.
Yeah, but whatever the Space Marines are called. Yeah, so there's
Wait.
different lore videos around there,
Mm,
just talking about before they were made, during special missions, especially in between the video games stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So I think you have to explore that. Maybe if you watch a couple of lore videos, maybe your opinion on the show
It,
can
it's
change a little
it's
bit.
it's possible. I'm open to it to some extent, but I think the damage is done. To be honest with you, I think they just branched out and they. It's just not.
Can
It's
you can you can you recommend the book, Elena? One of those Halo books?
yeah. Let us know which one do you recommend. Is there like a first one, a second one? I'm sorry, I don't read books. My comprehension sucks and I struggle understanding. It's all
How
good.
about audiobooks, Naomi?
Oh yeah, audiobooks. That's a really good point, Primo. That's a really good point. Audiobooks. The books are great. They speak to the inner nerd. I love that with
Yeah,
Tech Talk, and they tell the whole background of Master Chief. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's really cool.
I see. So you as a book reader, do you enjoy the show more because you've read the books, or you're like Raboom and just hates the show?
Show's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like there's elements in there like they. I don't know.
I think you were expecting too much, or you just were expecting the bar minimum.
I actually went into it. I just wasn't really expecting. I don't even know, because I was actually excited about it. I was promoting it. I was talking about it. I was hyping it up. Uh, so I guess I was expecting a good ride, but when you watch the first episode, you just start to see these red flags appear, and you're like, wait a second, that's not. Oh well, that's not. And oh, he's taking. And it's just like people are like, oh, everybody's complaining because he took off his helmet. It's like I don't care about that. Reveal it, but just do it with class. Do it with justification. We waited 20 plus years for this moment, and you're just gonna do it off the whim, like just for this random person that he's just because he just all of a sudden got feelings because of this thing that he touched. Like, come on, give
Let's
me
not go down there.
just give me a better story. That's all I'm asking. That's my biggest gripe with the show. It's just that they have all the elements right in front of them. They have all this content, and they just choose to just ignore it all and tell this mediocre story. And that's my biggest issue with this. It's just why? Why do you feel like you need to have this justification to I need to put my stamp on this project because it's my project. It's like you have nothing to do with it. You're just the catalyst to bring it and translate it onto the screen. It's not yours. It belongs to me more than it belongs to them. Because I've played all the games, I've played all the story modes, you know? Hours of my life has been dedicated into it. And you're just like, oh, I'm a writer. I'm just gonna pivot. I'm gonna put my name on this. Like, come on, man. And it's just not, if it was a good story, like if they were making changes and it was compelling and it was justified, I'd be all about it. I'm like, you know what? And that was the thing in the first episode. I saw a lot of red flags, and I was just like, they're trying to tell a story. Just kind of go with the flow. But then when we go to the Covenant, there's a woman there that's speaking their language, and it's just like, I'm like, wait a second, but shouldn't this be the Arbiter? Shouldn't this be like? And that's where they lost me. That's why I was like, okay, you guys just don't care.
I don't know if Elena can answer. Is she from
Yeah.
the books? Like,
Yeah, that would be a good question. Elena, is that character, that female character from the books? Um, Let me see. Naomi said, "You know what? I have never thought about audiobooks, but I'm definitely going to start because I have Amazon Prime." Yes, audiobooks are
I,
amazing.
I think they have a special right now of you. I think you get free 2 months, and you get Amazon Music something too in that one. So they're always throwing Audible's always throwing these specials. Like, I have a bunch of books because of those specials.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. Elena says, "I'm still on the fence because the graphics were cool with the aliens." I agree with that. I think that's one of the best things about the show is the Covenant graphics look amazing. Uh, but they could do a lot more. I also concur with that. That like the guns in the first episode look like plastic. It just like everything that has to do with like the Master Chief and stuff like that just looks really
Yeah,
plasticky. Uh, Naomi says, "Do you feel like they went too big with the show? Like they went too quick?"
I think they had no money and they're trying to do a sci-fi show.
Yeah, yeah. Primo, go ahead and because that's something that Hobby's really good at. He kind of knows a little bit of the backstory on what happened. Like this, you were talking to me last time that it was in this production hell, right, or something like
Yeah, it's
that.
been on production hell for a long time. This District 9 was supposed to be Halo,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually, they couldn't a problem with the license in the studios, so it became District 9. But you can see test footage from the director. He has the Warhog and everything running. Uh, and then recently, I just got for I think during the Xbox One, they announced it as a series, and it was Steven Spielberg was involved, and
Yeah.
it's been in development till now. Like, I think the show at one point was just in a storage room in CBS somewhere. Just couldn't they didn't know what to do with it, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a troubled show, and it's evident that it's just been kind of like in trouble ever since. You know, like it's I don't know because it definitely feels like the first two episodes felt like a TV show because there was like these big old blocks of black. You know, it seemed like
yeah,
at one point they were thinking like, oh, we're gonna release this on
CBS.
ABC, yeah, CBS. It's just gonna be on the TV, and the show really feels like that. There's no edge to the show whatsoever. But until like episode three where that guy's like bare ass naked, you know, and
Yeah.
homeboy's been working out. It's evident, you know, he's in shape, he's ripped, but yeah, I didn't need to see all that. Just so he could be like, oh, I'm just gonna pull this thing right out of my tailbone area. It's like okay, let me see. No, I don't recall her at all. See, see, there you go. Thank you, Elena. Thank you. In Master Chief's life, they mention no girl. See, thank you, thank you for that. I've tried to read the Bible, and Elena will tell you I struggle so hard. Like, I I tore it uh about read to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. It took me a second. I'm sorry. I like when I heard tour, like, yeah, okay, yeah,
I
no.
thought you broke. Uh,
I was just like, I was like, did she like rip the Bible apart? It's like, I'm done. Frustrated with this thing.
you should I eat pork. That's it. I'm not.
Turning water into wine. Come on now. Come on. Let's keep this party going. Boop. No girl with the ability apart. Yeah, all right. Well, Elena, thank you so much for that. And Naomi, I think the Bible is usually difficult for everybody to read a little bit, but just take it like chapter by chapter, and you eventually be at the end. And that's how I started doing like reading, because I was like the worst at reading when it came to like reading books and whatnot. Like it was, I had to take it like step by step. I was like, okay, chapter one, how many pages is this? 16. Okay, I'm gonna read 2 pages today. Duns. Moving on with my life. Uh, but I digress. Yeah. So Halo, I don't recommend it to anybody. It is a painful show to watch. The story structure is not there. The essence of the show, there's
You don't
no.
want anybody to watch it, just
I
you, so you can hang over it.
I don't. I want to suffer through this. Like I specifically
How
got
about I
Paramount.
get you the $6 and you stop
No,
watching it?
no, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this because you know what's going to happen now is that season two is going to come out, and I'm going to be committed to that, so that way I can compare and contrast the two seasons and see how much, if any improvement from this next showrunner, and if not, then I would just like, I don't know. I'm not going to create a petition because that's a lot of work, but I would strongly advise them to just cancel the show outright and just move on with our lives. Just let it
I want
die.
to see what they do. I want to see what the other showrunner's gonna do on it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
curious about
curious.
it.
I
I'm
want to see
curious.
this. I want to see the train wreck.
Yeah, I'm curious of his approach, but then after that, I'm just gonna be like, just let it die. You already killed so many people's childhoods. Just let it die, man. You guys tried for it, and just it's dead. So I read Game of Thrones as well before I watched the show. Ooh, good for you. Yeah, I never
Yeah, I
read
read
Game of
it
Thrones.
after the first season, but I stopped before Dance of the Dragons. That book was boring, man. It was the worst book I've ever read. Just it did not. It just didn't have nothing to do with all the stuff that would happen in the other three books. It was just,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, what is this?
Is that the one that had like the different perspective? Like it's
Yeah,
everything that had,
different
yeah, it was
different
like,
characters and everything.
but this
I think the
is,
only character was can't remember, man, but I couldn't go through that book. I just jumped to Dance of the Dragons or something like that. I jumped that book. I read on Wikipedia and I just yeah.
all the cliff notes, all the cliff
Yeah, I read
notes.
the Cliff Notes, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of characters in those novels, so even through because he takes a long time to write, you kind of forget what the book was about.
Yeah. There's no like recap like in TV
Nah,
shows and
you just
stuff.
go into the book and you're like, "Oh."
Mm. I don't know who the hell all these people are. I have no idea.
Yeah, so, where's Jon Snow? Not here.
No. Oh man.
Oh, man.
Hey, Mega Angel. Mega Angel.
¿Es Mega Ángel o Mega Angel?
Mega Angel. But I was trying to say Mega. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, because is it Mega Ángel
Yeah.
or the name or Mega Angel as a heavenly angel? Like, an angel went Super Saiyan or something like that.
That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, golden wings and everything.
Yeah. Oh, that would be legit, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Who would you cast though for the Mega Angel?
I don't know, man.
You have
So-
a crush, man
Actually,
crush on somebody?
actually, you know who would play well for it? Well, are we talking about like buff? Like, would he turn into like this buff kind of like?
Do you want him buff?
I'm-
Because I know you have a
I'm just saying,
Chris Hemsworth man crush on him.
Chris Hemsworth is like angelic kind of human being, but
Well, Chris who was it? Drax called him that he looked like an angel or something
Yeah.
like that.
it's like a pirate had a baby with an angel. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth would work with that, but I was thinking if there was gonna be like an angelic kind of character, it would be Jared Leto, because Jared Leto has like that.
What?
Yeah, Jared Leto looks.
Please, come
No,
on.
but
Just
listen here.
cancel,
I'm not.
cancel the project. Cancel the project. It's over.
Listen to me. He has that
No,
aesthetic.
no,
He has
no.
that
I'm gonna
aesthetic.
be producer on this show, and he's gonna start sending me dead animals and stuff. No.
He's gonna go full method. He's gonna
Yeah,
be
full
like,
method.
I'm just
Start
healing
speaking
people.
Latin and-
Yeah, he's touching people's heads, trying to cure them of ailments. Like, Jared, just please get these people out of here. I'm
Yeah,
healing the sick. Like, please stop. Just
Yeah.
take your kids home.
And you can understand it because he started speaking Latin for no reason. Just, no.
Man, Jared Leto. There's a huge controversy in Hollywood right now for method actors. Uh, apparently, it's
Yeah,
getting
mad.
traction, and people are
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't.
Thank
They're
you,
over
Leonard.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, what is okay? What of this? That would be on Supernatural. She's okay. Yeah, yeah. Is that what that show's all about? Supernatural? Is that the guy without the belly button? Or am I thinking
What?
about? No, no. Okay, Supernatural
What
is
are you
like those
talking
two guys. Someone from that's what Naomi said. She said someone from Supernatural, and I was like, oh, what is that? What's that? Elena, you're right. Creep mode, indeed. Um, so jumping from one angel to another, our angel Oscar Isaacs.
about?
That man has such an exotic look. Like he's from South America, but he has this look that he could be like an Arab or he could be a Middle Eastern man. Um,
Yeah, he
yeah, he could.
gets everyone.
Yeah, he's like the most interesting man in the world. Very international. Like he could play any role.
Now you have a man crush on him.
Well, I'm still debating whether he could do Solid Snake though. He's maybe he could pull it off, maybe, but I mean he could pull off the voice possibly. I don't know. It's still up in the air because I love me some Metal Gear Solid. Love me
Look
some
at
Metal Gear Solid.
what Mega Angel or Mega Angel said. Raboom, I found your channel by watching Halo stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no, I remember, man. That's when I was doing Halo Infinite. Back in the day, that was like a couple months ago, but it felt like back in the day. But yeah, man, I was so hyped. I was so pumped for Halo to be such a good show, and unfortunately, it's not. So, Mega Anhead, man, just save your eyes. Save your eyes and ears from that show. Don't.
It's like what Buffy fans say. Hey, don't start the first one. Start, but yeah, the show gets good by season 4. Then it turns good.
Yeah, no, no, sorry. I'm gonna say bye to that. Like, no, no, gracias. And Joss Whedon, he's a pretty good storyteller too. He's a good writer.
Usually shows where those type of themes take a long time to get running. Like
Yeah.
you're establishing a lot of lore and stuff. So,
And that's just like an old method of storytelling too. Like it was just like really long winded. Now things are a little bit more fast paced. Um,
yeah.
like Moon Knight. Moon Knight has been a very fast paced show. 6 episodes. We have the third episode out now. We got 3 more to go. And for those of you who don't know, Primo, could you kind of give him a quick little rundown of the character and who he is, his background, and all that stuff, just for the lovely people watching us right now.
Well, Moon Knight is a Marvel character created in the late 70s, I think. And he was at first he was like kind of like a version of Batman for Marvel, but then different writers and stuff started creating different lore for it. But now he's a character who has multiple personalities plus an Egyptian god. He's the avatar to say of this Egyptian god who's the god of vengeance, who he's the god of the moon basically. So yeah, that's about the gist of the character. He has a complicated story, so yeah.
Yeah. No, that
Now,
sorry.
Disney Plus show. So with Oscar Isaac, the new man crush from Red Boom.
He's a handsome man. Handsome,
Yeah,
handsome man. Um, so let's say Naomi says, "Will you continue playing Halo even though you didn't like the show?" Yes, absolutely. 100%. I put nothing. Uh, I put nothing that the show did on Halo video game because it's
I do.
completely.
I'm not playing the Halo games anymore.
I'll probably jump back onto Halo because they're gonna do an update here soon. I think May 3rd. This next season's gonna come out, so I might play that for a little bit. Or did the show turn you off from? No, I didn't. I don't think the show just
Go
turned
read
me.
some books, and maybe you can enjoy the show.
Yeah, no, that the show just turned me off from Paramount Plus and anything that's coming out of that place. There's some good content in there. The uh, King of something. It's from the guy who did Hawkeye, the actor from Hawkeye. He's on the show on Paramount
Blade
Plus.
Runner.
Was that?
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, he's on the show on Paramount Plus, and it is fire. It is straight fire. Every single episode is so brilliantly written, and it's just Paramount Plus should just stick to shows like that because that's their niche. It was really good. It was fantastic.
He's there early, like
Yeah. What do you call that movie? Scream is in there, and
Dark,
A Quiet Place.
Dark Place, Quiet Place.
Yeah, Quiet Place Part Two is on there too. So it's an exclusive. So yeah, they have some good content, but it's just Paramount Plus. It's with Halo. It's just kind of like ugh, ugh. Oh, but they do have Frasier on there, so definitely watch Frasier. Frasier is a must
On
watch.
Hulu, it's on Hulu.
No, it's on Paramount Plus too. So.
Yeah, but Hulu is better, has more movies and shows and stuff.
Oh yeah, but Hulu you got to pay extra for what do you call it? You know.
I'm in Puerto Rico. Usually, when the ad starts, it stays black and just goes to the show.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't affect you that much, but yeah.
No.
We digress. What's my favorite Transformer? Ooh, I'm from the movies. I started Transformers from the animated movie. I can't remember further back than that my Transformer experience. So Hot Rod has always been my favorite Transformer. Well, hear me out. Hot Rod when I was a kid, before I realized how weak of a character he truly is, and how amazing Optimus Prime is. But Hot Rod has always had that place in my heart because of the movie and that intro scene when he's driving with Dano, like Dano's on that skateboard, that hovering skateboard, and he's like going on going down the hill because Optimus Prime, where the shuttle's arriving, his dad is arriving, and he crashes and Hot Rod catches him. It's like, if you're gonna ride, Dano, ride in style, and he tosses him up and transforms, and he's like this Ferrari or Lamborghini. No, he turns into a Lamborghini, and he just man, he just go and just boom, just takes off, and I'm like, oh my god, I want a Hot Rod, I want one. So yeah, Hot Rod is it's definitely my favorite character. He has a place in my heart. Optimus Prime is cool too, but Hot Rod, yeah, he's
I don't know. Mine is Starscream. I just love his
uh,
constant vibe for power and just
yeah.
failing.
His bickering. That's kind of like a sad story. There's an Netflix has a new series of the Transformers from like the Battle for Cybertron and how it's kind of like connecting all the different Transformer storylines together. It's really well done. I've only made it past the second season, maybe ish. But it's pretty dark, and Starscream has a really important role through all of it, and it's kind of like I don't know, he's kind of a really sad character, and he's like a Joker kind of thing. So it's really cool to see the character develop in that manner. So they've done a really good job with that. Um, but so Moon Knight, 3 episodes are out, and the first 2 episodes, I would say they were fantastic, really, really well done. The third episode, I feel like it's been, at least for me, it was the weakest episode of them all up to this point. Um, I have this thing about organic storytelling, and when things don't flow organically, I tend to like get it, like I raise a red flag. I'm like, wait a second, hold up, and so this episode had like one crucial flaw in the storytelling and the writing of it, that it just kind of, it took me away from it. Like it's like, I can't believe that we're that the character would actually do that. But there was a reveal that there might be one more character that's hidden inside of between Mark and Steven, which is Oscar Isaac's two personas that he plays in the show. So there might be one more, and they hinted at that in the previous episode, and now there's more evidence of it.
I think they showed them already.
Yeah, I honestly think they showed him twice. But
I think he's the one who did the bloodbath in the first episodes.
Oh, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I think he's the one you see drinking at the end of episode 2.
Yep.
Because that look he gave, like,
yep.
He was like tormented.
Yep. Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly with you. I'm with it. I didn't make that connection with the first episode when it's like there's that bloodbath. Yeah.
I think fans are thinking that it's Jake Lockley. He's another persona. in the comic books,
Is
but
he?
he's a taxi driver
Yeah.
in the comic books. So taxi driver, Rage, taxi and the movie.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think it's Mark Spector is the main personality, and Steven and Jake are like his extreme opposites of him. Like
Yes.
he can fight, he's violent, but Steven is his like good natured side,
Yeah, the
and
docile.
Jake is just a savage.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I really enjoyed seeing that, and there was still that comedy in there, that Marvel comedy. You know, that I'm sure that if Nelson's watching, he's gonna be like, "Oh, I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand that Marvel comedy." But um, but yeah, I think that this episode it progressed us forward in the story, and it introduced us to different gods and things like that. I just feel like there were some things that weren't justified. Like I get when the god, Moon Knight's god, or he blotted out,
Koshu.
yeah, Koshu, he blotted out the sun with the moon to get the attention of the gods. Especially right after he said like the gods might put me in stone kind of thing. So he's blatantly foreshadowing what's about to happen,
Yeah.
and he's saying it's a bad idea, but then moments later he does it anyways. So I'm like, okay, I'll let that go. I'll let that go because it's desperation. Like, and he wants to please Mark, and they're a team. I get it. All right, I'll let that one slide. But then his actions afterwards, they have a meeting. He's like the disgruntled employee who's crying wolf in the eyes of these other guys, or gods. I'm sorry, and yet the gods call forth his former avatar like it's no big deal, like nonchalant. It's like you're accusing this human, and it's like really, like that's how you guys operate. It's like all right, cool, we're gonna let that one go too. And then he obviously gets booted out, and things go south for him. But as the story progresses, there's no real like what do you call it, like incentive or just like any crucial moment for him to be like, I need to shift the stars so that way you can realign, and pinpoint where this evil person is buried at. Because the girl had this tablet, and it was like a GPS tablet, and it was like aligning with the stars. And there's apps that allow you to see where the stars were at what point in history, and they exist. And for her to have such an advanced tablet and not to have that feature on that program, it's like really. And then this god is gonna be like, fine, I'm just gonna change the stars and move and do this dramatic over excessive act just to have the stars align so that way you can pinpoint where this bad guy is at. It's like, okay, that's too excessive. Like, had it been a moment where like he was struggling to find it, or the stars actually needed to be aligned perfectly for this thing to happen, or something where even the tablet where they were being shot at or they were being gunned down or run, and he's just like, fine, I'm gonna go do this, tell Mark to free me because he's gonna get turned into stone. But no, he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. By the way, they're gonna turn me into stone, so whatevs. It's like, really? And that's where the show for me just, it's unfortunate. It had such a the last two episodes were really really strong, but this one is just they're like, we need him to turn into stone. We don't know how to do it creatively, so here it is. He's turned into stone. And yet the like I would understand if they were going to turn him into stone anyways, if they're in cahoots with the bad guy, like all these deities, all these other gods are in cahoots with the bad guy. But it it shows that they are, but at the same time they don't really state it. It's kind of like this.
There was a throwaway line about them knowing that he's doing something for her, for that imprisoned god, but
Mhm.
they're just observing.
Yeah,
So that's why they call him. And he was his former avatar, so they already know him. So
yeah. So it's just, I don't
I
know.
think
It was
I
a
think
bit
this.
weak.
Yeah, it's the weakest of the three ones, but at the same time, it's one of the most interesting because it puts a lot of lore into the Marvel universe. It was clumsy made
Hmm.
the scene when he goes into the pantheons of these gods,
Yeah.
and and Oscar Isaac. I don't know who directed him. He's like everybody's talking normal, even with their avatar, through their avatars, and he's talking like
Yeah.
he's making an order to a drive-through, man. He's always pausing. He can't even get a sentence out, and it's just like whoever told him that direction, it said, "Yeah, it's fine." No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
That his acting made the scene worse. Like
Yeah.
it just because he was not acting like the others. The others were possessed by their gods, and they were acting normal, and he was just like he would God, what is wrong with you? Your two connections is going,
Yeah.
it's so that one made it look ridiculous, and I think this episode was more of a info dump, kind of
Hmm.
like they just kind of accelerated a little bit the story.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not the worst episode of TV by
True.
you know, yeah. So
You could have
I don't
watched
know, but
Halo.
yeah, could have watched Halo, but yeah, but it does add a lot of stuff to the Marvel universe, like the Black Panther god that
Hmm.
you see in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
He's part of this pantheon, so he's the one of the gods that's missing there. Like so yeah, that's very interesting. A lot of and where are these gods? Like they say it's in another like kind of dimension.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool what they're doing with the gods. I think they could have tell another story, maybe trying to introduce them, but I don't know. This was the weakest one of the three one, but it's pretty interesting the story where it's going. I think the scene that you say about the them moving him move that god moving the stars visually it looked great.
Yeah.
It just looked like it just didn't help the storyline
No.
because these things are happening just an eclipse from this and this guy turning the sky around and
Damn.
it's the Marvel universe. So I don't know the other characters. I don't know if this is during the 5-year blip or something.
That's a really good
It
point.
doesn't look like because a lot of people walking around. So
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Um, yeah, the whole scene inside of them when they're doing judgment and stuff like that, I think they established that scene by telling Oscar Isaac's character to like, hey, just let it go, let it flow, let him take control, and it just showed that their relationship is a rocky run. So that's why it just, the god was trying to force the voice out of Oscar Isaac's character, and so it was this conflict. That's why it was just kind of like because it's his first time that he's ever experienced that. So he's not.
yeah, it could have done better. It could have been done better. It just
Yeah.
looked wonky.
Yeah, it just looked kind of stressful.
I bet they're gonna use that as a meme. Somebody like.
Megan, he says, I like the one that turns into the Ferrari F40. Which transformer is that? I'm not too
The
familiar.
rich one.
The rich one.
Yeah.
And you're not online on Xbox. No, I'm not online. This is a completely different. This is a podcast. This is a completely different thing. But yeah, I think this episode just could have been tighter. I think they were trying to get to a certain place too quickly, and it just showed that they weren't on the ball on this one. Or whoever wrote it or the team that wrote it, they just knew that like we need these key points, and they just
Yeah.
rushed to those key points, and then
Yeah.
okay, let's just go. So I'm
And
hope.
people are arguing about people are not happy because of the lack of action in these show.
Mm,
So I really like the action at the party. The some of it was good. Some of it was looked cheap.
yeah,
I don't think it's an action show. It's more like as a like a lore or I don't know. They're trying to tell something that I don't know. I
yeah,
think I think none of this is real and it's all in his head type of movie or show. I mean,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel the format of a movie would have worked better for this character and not the TV show. because the special effects are the weak point of the show sometimes, like especially in the character, the costumes and all that stuff. I think it would have worked better as a movie. You're more tighter, and and
Hmm. No, I totally agree. I think I I think they could have used some of that tightness, just that constraint to like, hey, you guys got to focus on this kind of stuff, so that way they're not um, expanding more than they need to. And I'm with you. I think this episode was just an information dump. There's like key Easter eggs in there, so that way they can establish other characters down the road and stuff like that. Um, but we'll see with the next episode. I much rather prefer everybody to watch this show because it's better written than most shows that are out right now, especially Halo. But yeah, I just think that this one is a bit weak, and I have to call it out because it's pretty disappointing to see because for the first two episodes they're just so well done, and they thought of everything, and then here goes this next episode where it's just whoever wrote it really dropped the ball. So hopefully they can salvage it the next episodes, because it's just three more episodes, and then that's it. It's done. And then Oscar Isaac's contract was only for one season, so we'll see if that gets picked up again for another season and stuff like that.
yeah, I think
So
so. I think
yeah.
maybe think they're trying to right now the Marvel universe, especially the movies and the TV shows are kind of
Mm,
scattershot around. Like there's no like through line with the other phases. Like you had those Infinity Stones, Ultron, the effect. So this one is kind of like there's no central villain yet
yeah.
that has appeared on screen, and we still don't know where they're going with it. So I think that's why one of the reasons these shows feel like they don't have a purpose or anything. They're just telling weak stories.
Mm. Hopefully with this Doctor Strange movie that's about to come out in May, what,
Yeah,
May 6th or something?
May 4th.
May 4th?
Man, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't I don't know, but the next one that's going to come out hopefully has some meat to it and it'll tie some things, especially like the storyline of Loki and stuff like that, going
Yeah,
through dimensions. But
I recently watched that last episode, man. It's a class on how to do info dumps.
yeah, yeah, I enjoyed Loki, and now Moon Knight is definitely up there as like the main one that I really enjoyed. But Loki had the had the spot, man, because I thought it was a really strong show compared to the Winter Soldier one and WandaVision. I still haven't seen Hawkeye. I don't know. I thought that was gonna be good, but there's just every time I see like the trailer, I'm like, I just don't. It doesn't call to me. So
The only good part of the show is the Kate Bishop and Yelena, their relationship and their chemistry that is really 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 fun.
mm.
Is the only good point because even the Kingpin appearing there was like, why are you here? It looks like they cut an episode and everything. It felt so janky.
Naomi says I'm excited about that one. Are we talking about Doctor
Strange, I
Strange?
think.
Strange, yeah, Strange, yeah. For a second there, I thought you said Fringe. I was like Fringe, like the old school Fringe. Yeah, no, I'm excited for that movie too. Like that's something I really want to go to the movies and see. I haven't been to the movies to see many movies, but like I want to watch The Northman. That's one I definitely want to watch in theaters, and I also want to watch Doctor Strange. So Batman's coming out on the 18th, so I'm good with that. I don't need to watch that in theaters. But Doctor Strange, yeah, I think IMAX maybe possibly. So she's like, yeah, Strange. Yeah. So speaking of strange things, we're gonna move on to our very last show that we're gonna discuss this evening. It's not really a strange show, but I just didn't know a good segue, so I've been doing bad segues all night. So uh Tokyo Tokyo
Tonight,
Vice. Tonight, only tonight. Most of the other nights it's like, it's pretty decent. It's just like I'm gonna transition. I don't know. Anyways, Tokyo Vice. It's kind of a strange show because it's based on the memoirs of a journalist that lived in Tokyo, Japan, and he followed the yakuza around, just telling crime stories and stuff like that on their news platform, which is like has over 21 million subscribers or something like that. It's one of the largest news publications in the world. Um, and yeah, so it's his story when he was a young kid, and how he lives in Tokyo, and how he struggled to become this news reporter of crimes and things like that. And his father was a coroner, so he was always around like death and stuff, and he was always curious on how did it happen. He was very curious of the how and the why. So the news reporter just was something that he fit right into, but yet he's doing it in Tokyo, and therein lies another layer of the story. You start to understand this person and why he's there, what's been going on in his personal life to get him to Tokyo. But on top of that, you see his struggle. He's a gaijin, living. I think I butchered that. Living in Tokyo and trying to make his life there, and so it's a really rewarding show for those who have a soft spot for the Japanese culture and everything Japan, because I love the show, and it's very meaty. It's like very meaty, and like usually in series, like they have the first episode is really long, and then the next ones just kind of fall off. But this, like the following episodes, they're just like as long and in depth as the very first episode, and it's written in a way where you just, I don't know. It left me wanting more at the end of it, but at the same time, it just I, I just felt so fulfilled. I felt like I got a well-rounded story out of like the first episode, and I've seen like the first three in total, but today we're gonna focus on the first episode. But um, Primo, what was your take of the show? What did you think of it?
Um, okay, I only watched the first episode, so
Yeah,
man, I was
yeah.
bored to death in this show. The first episode, man, it is one of the most boring things
Oh
I've
my
ever
god,
witnessed.
I love it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I thought I
Oh.
was watching a clip show, man. Oh god, this is awful. Just judging the first episode, man. There's that. It was, man. It's the cure for insomnia, man. It's just so it looks beautiful, but it's just kind of rips ideas from other shows that done the same thing about foreigners on another country and stuff. And it just felt like, I'm gonna get to the point. I gotta understand you're a foreigner. Just get to the damn point. And it's like it's a silent movie for the first half of the episode. He's not barely talking to anybody, just trying to convey the loneliness he has in Tokyo and all that stuff. And I get it, but it was boring. Visuals are good. I mean, I know there's another actor there that barely appeared in the first episode. So I think I hope it gets better. Everybody's telling me, you and my other friends are, oh, this show is great. And
It's
I
good.
see
It's good.
it kind of looks like almost like they have the same tone of the Mindhunters, the Netflix series,
Yes.
and I was like watching Mindhunters from Japan or something. So it has the same look. They kind of ripped off David Fincher's look and everything, like the style and everything. The look of that series, like
Mm-hmm.
the art tones and stuff. So, but I'm interested. I just hope the first one would have just picked up some speed, and it doesn't. It's just, I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies from people going to Japan and being outcast and stuff like that. There's been a bunch of them, so this show just this first episode felt slow and dry. It's just was dry like the Mojave Desert, man. It's just like nothing there, juicy, nothing. Not even the food he was eating. It was felt good.
Yeah. No, I I like the slow burn of it. Um, I I like the character development of it. It was methodical. Seeing his loneliness, seeing his depression,
But
what
in
he's
10 minutes, you could have done that with a skilled storyteller would have done that in 10 minutes and you would have get the point. But they keep dragging that point every second, every scene until the end. And it's just like, okay, I get it. Just get to the point.
well, I don't know. I feel like it was all justified. Like every bit of it, like the characters, you're growing and learning about his of his environment with him. through this first episode, so that way you get a clear picture of who who's who in the story and what he's about. So I don't know. I was hooked. I was really hooked. Like I wanted more, and so luckily they had the first 3 episodes that were out, so I was able to just kind
That's
of
why
sit
they
there.
put the 3 episodes, because the first one wouldn't hook anybody.
I don't know. Like I,
When
I
shows when TV, when these streaming or channels do that, they drop a lot of episodes. It's because, okay, the first episode is rough. It's not gonna hook anybody. So let's just throw 3 of them and 2 of them, so they can just by nature just click and continue watching it, so you
yeah.
can get to the good part. So the other part was that where he lives and what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of reminded me myself of this video game Persona 5.
Okay.
It's almost like that you're an outcast so socially, but you're still Japanese, and you live on top of a cafe or a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and you're constantly walking around and doing stuff during in Tokyo, in that Akihabara, that area.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gave me that vibe of, because I put like 100 something hours into Persona 5. So
I remember you.
yeah,
I
it gave me
remember
that
you
vibe.
playing that.
Yeah.
I I liked it. I like the structure of it. I like the story development of it. I like the slow burn of it. It's very character driven show, and seeing his persistence and him persevering over obstacles. I just like it. I like that storytelling. So I could see the faults in it, but I just, to me, the pacing was fine. I never felt like the pacing was, it felt like I was every minute and into the show, I felt like I was getting information, pertinent information. And so that continued throughout the other 2 episodes. So, but there is some truth, because I think this last Thursday they released 2 episodes this past Thursday. So now there's a total of what, five? Five,
Yeah.
five or something.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. I think 5 or 6 of
Yeah.
them.
So it's,
How long?
I don't
I
know.
think they're dropping 2 every week. I
Yeah.
think I think the show was made for binge watch and not weekly.
Yeah.
I think, because if you're not, that's one of the thing of Mindhunters did, is like, oh, I have to know. But if you got it weekly, you kind of would have bounced off the show, because it's very dry, very character driven, as you say. But
I don't know.
so
I
I hope it gets better. I hope as it gets better. Everybody's saying it gets better, but the first one didn't.
it didn't do
It
it for you.
impressed me as No, it didn't do it. It impressed me some. It looks great. It's shot beautifully. I mean, the DP did a great, beautiful job on it. I would have wished it was a 4K. You can, it's a lot of light, and
Yeah.
and 4K HDR and stuff, so the lights pop off, and just a little flare in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope it gets better.
Uh, I will tell you this, that it does. I thought the first episode was great. Second episode's good. Third episode was fun. I just like the story. I'm committed to it. Like when I'm left wanting more, I feel like the story's been, it's a good sign in my book. So maybe them dumping them like this is probably like a bad sign that they don't have faith in the show. But I don't think so. They've been doing that a lot with a lot of shows. Uh, there's this uh, there's this comedy show about pirates that recently came out,
Mhm.
and that one was rough. That was pretty rough. Like that.
Yeah, it's more strategy about retention,
Yeah.
because HBO has great program. HBO Max as a platform has
Yes.
incredible uh, 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 series and movies and stuff,
Yeah.
but they're not catching an audience, and that's the problem.
Mm,
Let's see what this the now that the merger with Discovery and the new CEO owner is going to do with it. So,
yeah.
because he wants to, like, no, let's change this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He already announced that he wants to do like a complete revamp of this DC movie franchise and everything like that. So um, I'm hoping that that just means that more original content is going to come to HBO Max, and we're just going to get better cohesive stories that span throughout multiple movies, not just one movie here kind of thing, and there's nothing in between to tie them together. So hopefully that's what we get with this next line of movies, and with this new leadership that you know that Discovery Warner partnership has. So yeah, but Primo, I love the contrast. I love that you you didn't like it. And I'm completely like over here. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. So I would recommend
I'm
people
not.
watch
I'm
it.
not saying that the story. I'm just saying the first episode didn't capture me.
Yeah.
Just that. Just because maybe next week I'm gonna be it gets good.
Yeah. No, that's true. But Primo, I think that'll do it for us here. Is there anything on your radar besides the movies that or the shows that we talked
I
about?
think Better Call Saul starts this week.
Yes.
I think coming week.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 episodes gonna drop. I think
Yep.
so. That's the beginning of the final season. So I
Yeah.
hope it's good. It's been good all the season. So it's
Yeah.
just a masterclass in writing and
Mm-hmm.
character development.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, that one has me hyped.
Yeah, I just started watching season 5 that just dropped on Netflix, so I need to figure out a way on how to I'll probably try to catch up as fast as I can so that way I can, finish the season as it wraps up as opposed to like a year or two later once it
Yeah.
comes to Netflix. So, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Better Call Saul, that's definitely on the radar. Um yeah, for me, I Batman is coming out on the 18th. So I'm really looking forward to that just to watch it and see. And
Hmm.
then next week,
That's Monday.
yeah, I think it's Monday. Not May, April 18th.
April.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, this
May.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, this Monday. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And that's pretty much it. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out, joining us for this brief moment in what's our on our screen podcast. These episodes tend to be kind of short, like an hour plus or so, but we like to keep it short and sweet to the point, and that way you can listen to them later on and catch up. But yeah, I had fun. Thank you to everybody in the chat for commentating and just hanging out. But let us know what are you guys watching in the comments down below, and if any suggestions you have for us, let us know as well. But yeah, from us to you, much love. God bless. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Adios.